Welcome today. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I wanted to share something that we use in a program called MBSR, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, which is called the Triangle of Awareness. And this could be really helpful into breaking down stress or stressful moment into more manageable parts. So first, I'll start by telling you just an example of a stressful moment, maybe in my personal experience. So previously, in my previous life, is what I like to say, I used to be an engineer, and I remember having to drive really early in the morning for early meetings, corporate America. And so every time that I would, plan the day at a certain way, leave the house at a certain day, of course, life would happen. And a lot of the times I live in Los Angeles, so I would get really stuck in traffic. Traffic is really bad here, just in case you don't know. I'm sure you're tuning in from other parts of the world or the country. And Los Angeles is really known for traffic. And so I would, plan everything, leave on time, have all my stuff ready for my meeting. If I was doing a presentation, I had everything I had prepared. I've done everything. But then the unexpected would happen, which of course it would be traffic. And now in mindfulness-based stress reduction, how we see stress is as a reaction to an event, right? This is how we react to the event. And also, how do we perceive the event, the duration of the event, how long does it last, which could turn into chronic stress. It could also be acute, which means it comes and goes. But it could also be internal or external. Internal stress is the emotions that might get triggered by a stimuli by the moment, or it could be external, such as something that is happening outside. So that could be politics, work, traffic, people, right? Internal could be anxiety, fear, emotions, sensations in the body. So with mindfulness, we learn to kind of see stress and kind of break it down into the categories that are a lot more manageable than just having to deal with a stressful event. So if we go back to my example, having prepared for my presentation, driving in the car, I'll be stuck in traffic, of course, whether it was a light that wasn't working or too much traffic, whatever it was that the moment brought. And as this happened, I could notice maybe my body getting really tight, right? I could notice that maybe I was holding the steering wheel with a tight grip. Maybe I'll be grinding my teeth, and then the thoughts will start coming in. I'm not going to make it on time. My boss is going to be mad, or I'm going to miss a meeting. My presentation's not going to go as planned now because this is on the way. So all the thoughts start coming in, so there's three ways in which we recognize it is thoughts, sensations in the body, and emotions. And of course, there's an underlying emotion, right? First of all, I would think that I would identify it as frustration, which is pointing to really anger because things are getting on the way and I'm not going to make it on time. So I will get really worked up about it. Maybe, this underlying anger here, maybe with the drivers, maybe somebody cut in front of me and I was going super slow. So when we are in autopilot, most likely we just react, right? So my reaction will most likely be to, honk my horn, or, maybe the reaction in a moment like this will be to yell at somebody, and this could turn into road rage. Now I'm going to make erratic moves in the road and drive my car really fast, trying to make it, and maybe even cause an accident or get into an accident myself. But not thinking about that because I'm going in autopilot. I'm just reacting to the stressor. And a stressor, by the way, is what we call the stimuli. So the event or the stimuli is called the stressor. So in the stress reduction, this is what we call the stressor. And a lot of the times we might think, I'm not stressed. There's no stress happening. So I just wanted to point really quickly when we talk about stress is anything in which we go automatically into reactivity. Right? So we are reacting to the moment. Even if we don't identify it as stressful, we're reacting to the moment and we're going into autopilot. We won't have times such as, me yelling at people or getting mad or driving in erratic ways. So I wanted to illustrate this briefly, just so that, and I'm going to share my screen here for you, just so that you have a better idea of what I'm talking about. So in mindfulness, we call this the triangle of awareness. And that means being aware of these three parts of the triangle. And one is going to be the thoughts. So here's mindfulness, and one is going to be the thoughts, right? And with the thoughts, we can talk about the perception. So how am I perceiving the moment in this? How am I perceiving the moment right now? What is my interpretation of what's happening, right? In this case of me driving late at work is, well, this is getting on the way, right? Traffic is getting on the way. If I could just take it away from the equation, I will be fine. So I'm gonna, if I'm in autopilot and I'm not practicing mindfulness, I'm gonna become really erratic, drive really fast, trying to control the situation the best I can with only resources that I have. But this is going to be driven by a perception that, you know, things are getting on my way right now. And there might be a story too. There's perception, interpretation. There might be story. You know, a story might be playing in my mind of like the last time I was late, you know, my boss already gave me the talk and I missed the last meeting. And here's the story. It's everything that is not happening right now. The mind is just creating a lot of scenarios based in the past or based in the future, right? Now, not all stories are bad. Some stories can be helpful. We're talking about the unhelpful stories that cause us to stress and to go in autopilot and react to the moment. So there is the stories that start playing in their mind. And then there's also the narrative, right? That doesn't stop. Like, oh my God, you know, it's everything in the moment. It brings a narrative such as this guy just cut me off. Oh, this so-and-so. And we, you know, we get really mad maybe. We're calling people names. Well, in my experience, that's the way it used to be when I was working sometimes, you know, just be like, the frustration again, which is an underlying emotion. And so this is another part of this triangle, which is emotions. So tuning into how we feel in the moment could also be really helpful. And this is more manageable now, right? We're looking at our thoughts in the moment. We're noticing the emotions in the moment. And with these emotions, we could say, you know, if I'm frustrated, I could just tune into that and notice the underlying anger that's driving the frustration. But it could also be, if it's a different situation, it could be silence, it could be fear, right? Now we might notice that emotions come in packs. So it's not just one emotion often. So for instance, this anger can be underlined by fear, right? A fear of me losing my job, a fear of my boss calling me in the office, a fear of not getting that raise that I was waiting for. There could be an underlying fear in the situation that we need to kind of pay attention to in some ways. Now remember, what is it? Fears, and I don't think fears last that, emotions don't last that long. So remember that they only last about, 90 seconds, I believe, 60 seconds, 90. That's what research says. So we can just allow the emotion, notice it and stay with it. It'll pass. Now, emotions don't have the power to make decisions. The emotion is just there to direct us towards action. Right? For instance, if I'm angry at that moment, then I know that I need to come to terms with, I'm going to be late for work. And what can I do about it? It's motivating me to take action, right? Anger, a lot of the times, is very motivating. So it's not a bad thing. And with mindfulness, we tend to see our emotions in this way with kindness and bringing gratitude to them. Because if I wasn't angry at that moment that somebody cut me off, the traffic is bad, then I wouldn't take action into maybe making a decision, turning in the right place, making a turn where I can. Again, but I'm not doing it from a point of anger. Now, if you notice sadness, a lot of the time, sadness can also be motivating. Maybe it's pointing us at a lack of connection, right? Maybe it's pointing us at taking more decisions towards our, sociable life, being in the presence of others. Maybe there's a sadness due to loneliness, right? Maybe there's sadness of losing somebody, and this can motivate us into finding ways to heal. So all these emotions are pointing us in the right direction, but they don't have the capacity to drive us. This is when reactivity comes in, when the emotion is taken over, and we think the emotion is going to resolve the problem. It's going to allow us to go through. This is autopilot. The emotion is so intense that we go to reacting. Okay. So then there's the fear. Fear could be in the same way. If I'm fearful, it might it might tell me that I need to protect myself, right? It might say, okay, this is not safe. We might need to do something about it. So there is a fear. For instance, in this case, the fear of losing my job is a completely valid fear, right? How would I support myself? That's a story. But anyway, we can really tune into these emotions and allow them to guide us, to take us in more depth by just giving them a little bit of space, by just recognizing them. So there's thoughts, there's emotions, and the third part of this is sensations, physical sensations in the body. For instance, I could notice in this moment when I'm driving that I'm holding the steering wheel with a really tight grip. Maybe I'm clenching my teeth, right? Maybe I notice tightness in my face. Maybe my body's just feeling heavy. And so maybe I'm frowning. So these are just little examples, but for you, it might be different things, tuning to the body. Maybe you feel it in your abdomen, right? So turning to the body could be another way of really recognizing that this is a stressful moment right now. So what thoughts am I having about this moment? And again, we validate them. We're not pushing them away. We're not disregarding them. We're saying, oh, this is what's happening right now. And these are the thoughts that are coming. This is the emotion. And we are able to identify the emotion now. What is this emotion? Labeling it. And what are some sensations in the body? And can I, instead of making it a mind process, can I tune into them? Can I sense them? Can I be with them? And we do this in the spirits of a great friend. This is like our best friend going through this. This is the kind of kindness that this awareness brings. The curiosity. If a friend came to us and told us all the stories and all the perceptions that they have about this moment, most likely we won't be mad or anything like that, but we would listen kindly, hopefully. Hopefully we'll listen kindly. We offer, space for them. And if they say I'm angry or mad or this happened, again, we also kind of turn towards them and listen, right? And we're in a kind way, we support them in this way. So, and again, with the sensations in the body, the same thing. We just allow it. We allow the tightness. These are all kind of friends coming to see us. That's the idea of seeing this in this way, to seeing them as friends. Oh, there's the thoughts that are trying to help me in this moment. And the thoughts are just there because they are trying to make sense of the situation based on what we know, based on the past. They're coming in to tell us, well, it's scanning and saying, this is it, this is that, this is that, this is what can happen, because it's scanning how we're wired. So this is great also to pay attention to. But at that moment, we can just identify them as thoughts, right? We can identify them as emotions and sensations in the body. So this is called the triangle of awareness. And it's a great way to kind of turn autopilot into mindfulness. With autopilot, everything comes at once and we can identify it and we don't know, and we're going to just acting. I'm going to get really angry and yell at somebody or say the wrong thing. And how many times have we said something out of anger that we regret? If you're saying yes, you're not the only one. But they motivate us, but they're not really there to take care of the situation. This is when we can actually bridge from the emotion into our logical part of the brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, that really is the part that is allowing us to really make a decision, to really see what we can do. And in my example with traffic, that would be, okay, there it is. Anger is here. Okay, I get it. It might be a little bit of resistance at first, and that's okay. We notice that, and then we allow for this permission. Here's a permission again to just feel it, to be with it, to recognize it. And at that moment, as we see it, we're already bridging. We're creating this bridge between the emotion, which is in the limbic system, felt in the body, and the prefrontal cortex. So that moment, I can maybe make a decision. I can say, what can I do? And maybe the easiest thing to do is call the office. Say there's traffic or there's an accident. I can't do it. We're not going to be able to be on time. Start without me. But now I can make an executive decision that is not based on reactivity. Okay. I hope this is making sense to you already. So just play around with this. If this is too much, there's 3 things that you need to remember: thoughts, emotions, and sensations. Break down the stress in this way. Be aware of these things so that you can turn into a response, a mindful response, instead of a reactive response. Remember, reactive is autopilot when we don't have a sense of our thoughts, emotions, or sensations. But when we bring awareness to this moment, then we go into mindfulness. Now we can respond in a mindful way. So I'm going to just stop my screen share right here. And I'd love to talk a little more about this. And at the same time, I'd love to maybe share with you a meditation today that is, it's actually not, it's not my meditation. This is actually a meditation that is that was created by, or is practiced by Christopher Germer. Christopher Germer is a psychiatrist and a clinical psychologist and lecturer of psychiatry from Harvard University, Harvard Medical School. And he's also a founding faculty member of the Institute of Meditation and Psychotherapy, as well as the Center for Mindfulness and Compassion at Cambridge Health Alliance and Harvard Medical School. So he created this beautiful meditation called Soften, Soothe, and Allow. And this allows us to work with these difficult emotions. Most likely is the sensations and these emotions that take us into autopilot. So we kind of want to know how to work with them. And this meditation can be helpful. So I'd like to invite you, as I do the same, to just get comfortable in your seat. If you like to lie, you can lie down. So whatever pose works for you, as long as you can be awake and alert, whatever works for you, it's fine. But as you do this, just notice if you're really tired and sleepy, and you might just want to maybe sit up a little bit and prop yourself up. So there are three parts to this meditation, right? That I'm going to share with you. The first part is labeling the emotion, right? Recognizing what I'm feeling and labeling the emotion. And then there's the emotion of the body. So we're tuning into the body, identify it in the body. And there is the third part, which is soften, soothe, and allow. Soften, soothe, and allow. So this is when we soften around the emotion. We allow for soothing. What do we need right now? And then we allow for things to be there. Okay. So soften, inviting the emotion instead of, the resistance often is going to feel as tightness. So when we soften around it, we're inviting the emotion in this way. And then allowing, right? And then allowing for us to feel in the body. What is in the body in the moment? So soften, soothe. What do I need right now? And allow. So again, finding just a pose that works for you, however that is in the body. And so something that can be helpful when we work with really intense emotions is regulating our nervous system. And this can be in the form of touch. So research shows that even our own touch can be really soothing. It doesn't have to be the touch of someone else, It could be our own. So it could be grasping your hands. It could be touching your face, hand on the chest. So you can take your time and play around with what feels soothing to you. What is it? Where is it? Where do you place your hand that actually feels soothing to you? Like I said, it could be on the face. Sometimes it could be very regulating to just hold our thumb in this way. So grasping the thumb brings a certain sense of safety. So this could be helpful as well. So as you do this and find your own way of touch that feels nurturing and soothing to you, this is going to be important. So reminding yourself again that you are in this room, that you are here, and bringing a sense of worth right now, knowing that you are worth of kindness, that you're worth of love. So you might even, as you place your hand in your heart or whatever it is that feels right for you, you might say to yourself some words that allow you to feel this sense of worth of kindness, worth of love. So just tuning into this moment in this way. Bringing your hand to your chest or to your face. So bringing the sense of touch, whatever that is for you right now at this moment. So for me, it's going to be maybe placing my hand on my chest, on my heart. And Just allowing for this touch to be soothing, reassuring, reassuring you that you are worthy of kindness. You are worthy of love. And maybe just taking a couple of breaths here in this moment. And as you do this, just allowing yourself to settle. Settling your attention right here in this body breathing. Feeling and sensing through this touch, nurturing, soothing. And then whenever you're ready, just bringing into mind, so recalling a moderate to difficult situation that you are in right now. Again, for the sake of this time and this exercise, maybe just choosing something that is a 4 on the scale up to 10. So not the most difficult, but something that you're encountering that might be difficult. Or maybe there's a health problem or stress in a relationship or a work issue or something that has to do with family, finances. So just recalling this situation right now. And so again, we want to choose something that is up in the scale about a 4, not a trivial issue, but not a super complicated issue either. Something that might need your attention right now, something that is manageable for this time, just for the sake of this exercise. Something that's generating a little bit of a stress in your body when you think about it. And I'm just starting to clearly notice the situation. Becoming very aware of who was there, what was said, what happened, or maybe what might happen. And so as you recall the situation, just allowing for labeling the emotions that might come up. What are some emotions coming up, and can you just label them? Now, as you relieve the situation, as you bring it into mind again, just notice all the emotions that are rising within you. And if there are any emotions that are coming to your awareness right now, seeing if a label for an emotion comes up. For example, is there anger? Is there sadness? Is there grief, fear? If you're having many emotions, see if you can name the most difficult emotion right now, an emotion that might be associated with the situation, the one that might be taking center space right now. And as you do this, just always remembering to be kind to yourself. Now knowing that if at any moment anything becomes too much for this moment, you can always open your eyes or shift and do this practice later. So if you're with me, just holding this emotion kindly. So knowing that there is this emotion that might be taking center space, and now repeating the name of the emotion to yourself in a tender, understanding voice, as if you were validating a friend for telling you what they were feeling. That's anger, that's fear, oh, that's grief. And now expanding your awareness to your entire body. Just becoming aware of the body right now in this moment. And as you recall this difficult situation again, as if might have started to slip away from the mind, out of your mind, just naming the strongest emotion you feel. And now scanning your body for where you feel it the most. Where is it felt easily? Where is this emotion more predominant in the body? So in your mind's eye, just sweeping your body from head to toe. And stopping where you can sense a little tension or discomfort. And just feel feel able in your body right now. So fillable. What is this sensation right here, right now? How is it feeling in the body? And if you could choose a simple location in your body where the feeling expresses itself most strongly, it could be a muscle point in your neck, or painful feeling in your stomach, or an ache in your heart. So in your mind, really gently just inclining towards that location. And seeing if you can experience the sensation directly, as in from the inside. As if that's too specific to see, if you can just feel the general sense of discomfort. So if it's a little hard to pinpoint it right now, to pinpoint this specific sensation, maybe just feeling the overall discomfort. And now begin softening into the location in your body. Just softening, letting the muscles soften, just letting them relax. As if I'm floating in warm water, just softening here. And with each out breath, soften even more into this area. Remember that we're not trying to change the feeling. We're just holding on to the feeling in a very tender way. So if you wish, just softening a little around the edges. And now just soothing yourself because of this difficult situation. So if you wish for soothing, just placing your hand over that part of the body that feels uncomfortable, and maybe just feeling the warmth or the coolness of this gentle touch of your hand. And then just noticing how the temperature of your hand is felt in the body and it starts to warm up. So just allowing for this hand to just rest in this area. Perhaps imagining a kindness flowing through your hand right into your body. And maybe even thinking of your body as if it were the body of a beloved being. It could be a pet. It could be any being, a child, just a beloved being. So thinking of the body in this way and just soothing touch. Soothing yourself in this way. Soothing this part of you that's struggling. And there might be some comforting words that you might need to hear. For instance, you might imagine if you had a friend who was struggling in the same way, what would you say to your friend? Maybe, I'm sorry you feel this way. Maybe I care deeply about you. Maybe I'm here for you. Can you offer yourself a similar message? You might be, oh, it's hard to feel this. May I be kind to myself? So offering yourself a similar message now. May I be kind to myself? Whatever comes up for you. And if you need, feel free to open your eyes whenever you wish. Let go of this exercise and just feel your breath. And then feel free to join in whenever you're ready. So finally, allowing the discomfort to be there. And that's okay. Just for a moment. We're making room for it. And releasing the need to make it go away. So allowing, because for allowing this discomfort, making room for it, and then just releasing the need to make it go away. Allowing yourself to be just as you are, just like this, if only for this moment. So allowing yourself just as you are right now. Softening, soothing, and allowing. Softening around the sensation, soothing, and then allowing yourself to be exactly as you are. And so maybe just taking some time on your own to practice these 3 steps: softening, soothing, allowing. Softening, soothing, and allowing. And as you do this, you might notice this feeling starts to shift, even change location, and that's okay. Just stay with it. Softening, soothing, and allowing. And whenever you're ready, I'm going to invite you to just take in a deep breath, if that's possible for you, or just breathing deeper than normal to your own capacity. And holding the breath on top, counting to 4, and then releasing the breath on a long exhale. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in, holding 1, 2, 3, and then longer than the inhale now, releasing the breath. And one more time, breathing in, holding the breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then releasing the breath on a long exhale. And now just allowing your attention to expand to your entire body, everywhere else in the body. Just getting a sense of this body here, perhaps tuning into your heartbeat. Just allowing yourself to feel whatever you feel right now. Bringing your attention maybe to the palms of your hands, the bottom of your feet. And then allowing for soft movement right now. So maybe just tilting the head from side to side. Stretching a little bit. Stretching your arms. Whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and become really aware of your surroundings as you do this. Looking out, seeing what's around you, If there are walls around you, noticing the walls, keeping you safe. If you can see out a window, looking out a window. If there's any pictures or paintings on the walls, just noticing that. Just becoming aware of all the items around you. If you're in an open space, just seeing what's around you in this open space. And so the poet Rumi invites us to welcome the moment exactly as it is. And he says, he calls it the guest house, kind of like we are the guest house. And he says, this being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. So welcome it all. In the words of John Kabat-Zinn, he says, pulling out the welcome mat. So I thank you for your time and thank you for this practice. I hope you find this helpful.